Ooh, yeah. Freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future, yeah. And I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49erMinded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
49erMinded. It's not just a thought process, but a way of life. 49erMinded. 49erMinded. Can't shake it. It's 49erMind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco. Super Bowl, don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A written go session about our better go to session. With some well-controlled expressions, let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how it's been in the spot. All that back, all that crack, all that strip, fumble sack, or just dial it on up. If you wanna talk smack, it don't matter what the storyline, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind. 49erMinded. It's not just a thought process, but a way of life. For sure. 49erMinded. Way of life. 49erMinded.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to 49erMinded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. So I just want to see if anybody's lurking in the chat yet. I know I had to push the time back just a little bit, but it's okay. You know, sometimes things don't go as planned in the beginning. But don't see anybody waiting just yet, but some people will probably show up later. It's always the case with the show. So let me get my guests on. Okay, we got Laura here. I see you. What's up? We got Twin Maker, or his channel is called Twin Empire. It's Twitter's Twin Maker. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good first time having you on, man.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me on. My God, yes, your boy Twin Empire, but those who know me on Twitter know me as Twin Maker. I'm your favorite bearded brother with two sets of twins. I'm a 49er fan as well. Let's go Golden State, man. I just love to sit here and, like my man says, 49er-minded, you know what I mean? So we love talking shop when it comes to football and all these wonderful things. So yeah, I'm excited, you know. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's great to have you on, man. Just messing. I'm tinkering with these new backgrounds while we're talking. I made some new stuff, and I think it looks kind of good. But yeah, I didn't even know that. I didn't know the reason behind your name until like yesterday when I was on your Twitter and I was looking at it on the little profile right below your picture. It said something like "father of twins" or something like. It's like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now it makes perfect sense.
For sure. Yeah, it's always a conversation starter whenever I'm out and about and somebody say something about the kids or whatnot, and I'm like, yeah, I have twins, and like, oh, how old are they? You know, and then I give them two ages, and they're like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I have, 8 and 3, and they're like,
oh wow, you have two sets of twins.
Exactly.
Oh, you really are a twin maker. I was going to ask if it existed somewhere in your family lineage, because that's usually what it is. When people say they're going to have a twin, it means like usually people, if they have it from the great grandparents or whatever. So it must be somewhere in your family tree as well, though.
Yeah. So that's the instant. Like I say, it's always they're like, oh, you got twins. I'm like, yes, sir. And so I have this. This actually is on both sides. So the wife, she has a set of twins in her family, and she's what you call a hyper ovulator, you know what I mean? So she produces a lot of eggs. It's just, not to go into much detail, but
that's funny.
So she was look, you born around what they used to call back in the fertile myrtle. That's all I'm gonna say.
I was gonna say, I think when you were on with Ted Talk, shout out to Ted. You guys were saying something about how people think you and your brother are twins, but you're not.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's another thing too, because my brother, he does some. For those that do not know, I have a brother, he pods as well. Unfortunately, he pods for the Dallas Cowboys, but he's a great content creator when it comes to putting out content for the Cowboys. It's just he's a Cowboy fan. So right then and there was his biggest issue. But me and him have similar facial features because we're brothers, and so a lot of people think that's where the name comes from, twin, because they see him. And then they look over and they see me, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Are you guys like, twins? I'm like, nah. But why your name says twin? And so it kind of think it comes from that, but it really doesn't.
Yeah. Let me say what's up to Jason Massey. How's it going, bro? He's over in the Pacific Northwest. Really cool guy. Says Jason Niners smash Massey. I forgot what show he's on. I've seen him on his channel. I just forgot the name of the show. But if you want to drop the name of your show, name of your channel in the chat, go ahead. You're more than welcome to. And for those of you guys who don't know about Twin Empire, you can subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's in the description box of this video. So definitely check him out. And you can also follow him on Twitter. And the first time I ran into this guy, we were celebrating the Warriors championship last year, the finals, and I never met you before. And it was a joint effort of me and a few other content creators, Brandon, a few other guys, Corey, one other guy, Chris Polo. I think Chris Polo brought you on, and we were just on there celebrating, and you had your drink. You already had your drink with you, and other people already had their drinks. And I was like, hold on, guys. Let me walk away for a minute and get my drink. And we we drank up and we cheers and a virtual cheers. And Corey was puffing on his cigar. And those are good times, man. Just like, man, I was playing Cool in the Gang Celebration off of my phone, off my cell phone. And we were just celebrating, man. It was a celebration, when your team wins a championship, it feels good. And hopefully, God willing, I can do a stream on here right after the 49ers win a Super Bowl, and we can all celebrate that too. Really quick, go ahead.
Nah, you good? What you about to say?
I was gonna say, before we get into the Niner talk, I wanted to say something about. We could touch on last night's game if you want a little bit. The Warriors played the Lakers, and the Chase Center things that so kind of sucks.
I mean, we took a L, but as a Warrior fan, you kind of know we're not fast. I mean, we used to be fast starters. I think this rendition of this team is a little more slow and a little more methodical. You know what I mean? And so last night the Lakers came. They played a really Lakers type of game. I don't think we really was focused like we should have been. Even though we only had 8 turnovers, I'm a big turnover guy. You know what I mean? So I'm always trying to pay attention to see what are our turnover numbers and how do they look. And so though we had very low turnover numbers, I don't think we necessarily went into the paint enough yesterday to kind of be more balanced. We kind of got 3-point happy, which we were shooting good at first. But with a team like the Lakers, you want to make sure you do the inside out type of game. And so, I mean, the game was okay for game one. I'm really intrigued to see the development of this series because I know that in basketball, we got a mind like Steve Kerr. You're playing chess and not checkers. And so, like Steph said last night, it's the first to 4 wins. And so the Lakers came in, they already took care of home court advantage, meaning winning one on the road. But, man, it's going to be a real entertaining series. I'm just I hope that they do a little more pressure on Anthony Davis. I think he just had everything too easy last night. He was too comfortable, you know what I mean? And you can't let a player like him who's not necessarily consistent on the offensive end get easy buckets over and over and over again in that first half, which kind of led to the influx of what we saw with the other guys coming in and feeling comfortable as well, because that inspired him to play a lot more defense too. So
you said Steve Kerr plays chess, not checkers. Last night, I felt like he was playing tiddlywinks. I was heated, but I was. Oh, so by the way, Pete's here. Pete Lucas, another fellow 49er fan, awesome guy for Niner Fanatic Podcast. Great to have you here, bro. Let me change that overlay. I got a brand new overlay for 3 people that I made. Hopefully, it works good. Let's try this. Let's do this. Okay, there we go. Cool. Looks a little bit better. Things are to the side. What up, Pete? How you doing, man?
There we go. Hey,
you're a happy camper. You're a Laker fan. We're talking about the Lakers a little bit.
I don't watch as much basketball as I used to, but but still, I mean, and I'm not the biggest LeBron fan on the planet, so it is what it is. But I mean, any Laker championship is a good Laker championship, so I'll take it.
I got you. Hey, if it had Jimmy G won a Super Bowl for us, I wasn't the greatest Jimmy G fan, but I'm like, I wasn't going to say no to a Super Bowl championship either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Appreciate you.
What up, David McNiner? See you, bro. Says, what's cracking, Bashar and Twin? Now we got Pete in the mix.
What's going on, David?
Great to have Pete on here. We've had him on before, and my first time having Twin on here. So we're gonna ask him some of my introductory questions really quick before we get into our Niner talk.
I gotta say what's up to my Gotta say what's up to my boy Twin. Like long time no see, bro. Like what was it, like a week ago?
The Twin is just full of energy, man. This guy always
That's
has a
my
smile
guy.
on his face. What your positive energy, your positivity just resonates with everybody, and you're just a happy, good soul, blessed soul.
Yeah,
So
sure.
we appreciate you in our community.
Man. Hey, I appreciate it again. Appreciate it, Pete, man. I always, like I said, it's always a pleasure being on, Pete. We love to talk shop with 49ers after the draft. And man, I'm good to see you. Unfortunately, you brought some bad news, by you being a Laker fan. But hey, it encourages me, to know that during this time of the next couple of weeks, the 49er family would be even more divided as it already is. So hey,
I mean, that's par for the course. Yeah, that's par for the course. They don't know. You can't even get 10 49er fans in a room to agree on anything.
Come on.
So yeah,
you would think we're whole separate fan bases because the way we talk about the quarterback position, and now it's the way we talk about the kicker position.
For real.
Jeez, man, it's crazy, man. Let me ask you this, Twin, since it's your first time on here. When did you first become a 49er fan, and where did you grow up? And let everybody know more about you in that regard.
All right, so for those that do not know, your boy is from Mississippi, the Sip City, straight out of the 601, born and raised in Mississippi, man. And so I grew up with the ability to pick whatever team I so desired to be a part of, and I was so blessed, to be a smart individual at a very young age and to choose the only team that anybody with a sound mind should choose. And I became a 49er fan. I mean, it wasn't a very hard decision at all. It's just like, what is greatness? And I looked and I was like, oh, the good book says you want to be purified as gold. And I looked and I saw the greatest franchise that was ever, on a gridiron game. And the name was San Francisco 49ers. So therefore I said, hey, I'm rocking with them boys. And then they had the greatest football player, to me, in my opinion, Jerry Rice, straight out of Mississippi Valley State, representing
there you go. That's your home state.
So, you know what I'm saying? And that was, that kind of helped me as well, seeing the guy from where I'm come from, be a part of the greatest franchise that we know, which is the 49ers. So that's kind of where my love and my affiliation came from. Just my brother is a Cowboy fan. My brother is Saints fans, and I have another brother who is a Seagull fan or an Eagle fan, whatever.
What's wrong with these guys?
I don't know what's wrong with none of them people, man. I'd be like, y'all be making bad life decisions. But anyway, and so so that's how my family kind of grew up loving football. As you can tell, there's a lot of diverse when it comes to a team choice. And yeah, that's where my love came from, man. Just, I'm a Niner guy.
Cool. He's a Niner guy. We're all Niner guys, and there's some Niner gals. And speaking of Niner guys, what's up, Kenny? Since we got the number one defense, and we did some things to strengthen that number one defense, which we'll definitely get into. Let me ask you this, Twin. Since growing up, did you have any 49er jerseys, and what was your first 49er jersey?
Man, so growing up, we in the country. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm a country boy. I grew up out there with horses and things of that nature. But anyway, I only had one jersey growing up, and it was of the great GOAT Rice. That was the only jersey I had. I got a picture of me like in mid 90s with a Jerry Rice jersey on with some seashells around my neck, and that was my first and only football jersey I ever had until last year when I went and bought another one. And so our family wasn't necessarily had a lot of moolah to go get jerseys. And that was the only one I had. I held on to that joker for as long as I could.
Okay, I got you. And yeah, man. So I didn't have that many jerseys growing up either, and not until I was like freaking 19 or 20, I had my first jersey, which was a Garrison Hearst, And then so it is what it is. And then you said you got another one.
Another one. And
that was a Trey Lance jersey.
And another one.
Did you guys hear that sound effect? Did it go through?
Yeah.
Okay, DJ Khaled.
I heard it, yeah.
Oh, your next one was a Trey Lance jersey. Well, hopefully that jersey doesn't go to waste. I mean, they were talking about trading the guy.
And so look, that was like last season was such I went to the game against Chicago too. So I was like, man, it's a new season. Last season I had never been to a home. Well, it wasn't a home opener, but a San Francisco opening game. I'm from Mississippi, so come on, they really don't play nobody in the state. And I was just so excited, man, to go to the game. And yeah, we all know how that ended, but that's the jersey I rock, you know.
Hey, hopefully Trey becomes something. You know, we all, as Trey Lance supporters, I kind of got a bit excited seeing him working side by side with Mahomes and Mahomes quarterback coach, Jeff Christensen. Yeah, I hope so. And then recently, actually, for once and for all, Lynch, after the draft was over with, threw out something positive about Trey, mentioning that his work with Jeff Christensen, the quarterback coach for Patrick Mahomes, Lynch has seen some positive improvements from his time working with that coach. So thank God he said something publicly that was good about Lance. You know, he just seems like he doesn't even want to mention the guy's name at times.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'll be honest. Like that, you know, even if you were talking about putting trade value on him, why would you not talk glowingly about a guy that you want to get as much as you can for? It's just weird. And but Shanahan never says anything bad about Trey, and it's pretty weird how the both of them, like, they're obviously not on the same page about Trey, but it is what it is. Here we are, and I think Trey's going to show out in the this offseason. And it's going to be a whole nother conversation come week 1.
Motherfuckers act like I forgot about Trey.
I tell you.
Come on now.
I tell you.
Look, not only say that, man, I tweeted out something today. Some folks, man, so they was on NFL Network, I think, NFL Game Day or something like that today. And they were talking about Trevor Lawrence, and they was like, you know, he missed, you know, his first year doesn't count because he had a Meyer. And I was sitting there like, bro, I seen y'all throw away my quarterback for 4 games, and y'all said all 17 of Trevor Lawrence game. It didn't even matter, guys. Like they were like, and it was one person said it, and the other 4 was like, yeah. His rookie season, it didn't even matter. I was
throw it out the window. It never happened.
Never happened. I was like, wow. But yeah.
But yet our guy plays 4 games, and it's as if he stuck it up for 10 seasons. And he's the worst quarterback known to man.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Nuts. It's nuts.
It is. Let me ask you this, Twin. Have you ever been to any Niner games? And if so, you can tell us about your first experiences going to Niner games. So,
all right. So I've been to 3 Niner games. So I live in Missouri right now. So I live in St. Louis, and at the time the Rams were still here. So I went to 2 games in St. Louis when they were still here, and then I went to the game in Chicago. So those are my 2 experiences going to a Niner game. And yeah, man, it was awesome. I was in the sea full of blue, both games here in in St. Louis when they were still here, and then I went to the one in Chicago. So I've only been to away games. I've never been to San Francisco in my life. So I'm hoping one day soon I can go and get out there in the Bay and go there and represent and be amongst my family. You know what I mean? Be amongst the faithful and to truly immerse myself and other individuals that feel the love that I feel for the red and gold.
Okay, sounds good. We gotta get you to one of these games too, Pete.
Dog, like well, you know, if I can just stop paying child support for a couple of months, you know, like
we'll get you a GoFundMe account. Don't trip, man.
But it is what it is. Like, yeah, I want to go. The family is planning a trip to go to Southern California because that's where I'm from. I'm from Carson, LA County. So we're going back next summer. We're talking about one of these days, you never know if the podcast hits it, then I get one of those good old credentials, and we can make it happen.
Yes, sir. Let me say what's up to Low the Truth 05. Whenever this guy jumps on chats, people usually mess his name up and say Lotha Truth, but it's Low the Truth. I think his name might be Lorenzo or something. This is Bashar. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Go Niners. Eric Wallace is here. I think this guy. Are you a Seahawks fan or a Niner fan? Okay, he is a Seahawks. Okay, but good dude, good people.
What's going on, Eric?
Hey, so
appreciate you coming through.
And welcome everybody here. And a guy who lives in Seattle who's a Niner fan says one of the good things about being in Seattle is that I get one game a year that I can go easily. There you go. Yeah, right in your own backyard.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, we swept Seattle this time, right? So
it's beautiful there too. I love Seattle. I love Seattle as a city.
I've been there once, way back in '91, and I liked it out there because it just reminded me so much of the Bay Area. A little different twist on it, but it reminded me of the Bay Area more so than any city or area I've been to. And for those of you guys that heard my theme song, 49er Minded, my intro, it was performed. The rapper on that track is 49er Dude, who's right here. He says, "Bang, bang. Look who's in the building. What's up, fellas? Twin Empire. Love the beer, bro." Let me do something really good to have you here. 49er Dude, as always, we appreciate you. You're a great guy, great musician, great artist. And just let me know if you hear something. I want to make sure this mic's working right. Do you hear an echo? If it's echoing, let me know. So if you heard an echo, that means my mic's working. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
I had episodes where I'm having this mic in front of me. I'm talking into it. And I'm literally the mic that was running for the whole show was the mic off my laptop, and it sounded like crap. So, he says I always get it right. Yeah, I figure. Thank you, man. I want to make. I'm really big on getting people's names right. I'll talk about getting names right or getting them wrong. When I was doing the mock drafts this year and just looking at prospects, I thought this year
tough ones.
This year more so than ever, I'm like stumbling on names big time. I'm like trying to read them and pronounce them, and I'm forgetting it. And like, whoa, it was tough, man. I'm sure I
had to break out my phonics
for a living.
You had to break out my phonics, sound it out.
I was like, I don't want to jack this guy's name up or sound like a retard. I gotta spell this out or do something, man. Yeah, so it's good to know about your 49er experiences. Have you met any 49er players? I'm not sure because you're over there in the South or whatever, so maybe not. Take it.
I met no one.
You met us and we met you.
Look, I haven't met anybody as of yet, but I truly believe I'm speaking and believing like Peter, man. Hopefully this year coming up, like this month actually, that I started get to rolling, man, doing more content. My brother, man, he's been on my head like, hey bro, been letting things outside of, the work, out here kind of get on my nerve a little bit, but just trying to, start putting my feet to the ground and just getting active with it. And I think eventually, I know I'm gonna get on out there, man, to be able to see some of the players that we root for on a daily basis. So yeah, sooner than later. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna speak it into existence. Sooner than later, I'm gonna see some of these guys and go out there and check out, what's going on.
Okay, so now I'm going to do a little segment. It's a little curveball part of the show. It's called Pizza Time. All right, so we're going to do some pizza time right now. Pete knows what this is. Yeah. And since Twin's first time on the show, I have to, baptize him with this. And basically, I'm a guy who loves making my own pizza at home. I make my own dough. I have a pizza oven in the backyard. I watch about 100 videos on how to make New York pizza. So let everybody know what your favorite style of pizza is. If you have a favorite style and pertain to the crust, New York style, Chicago, deep dish, or even if you have like a favorite flavor profile and even a favorite go-to pizza place out where you live, let them know, everybody. What's up? Let everybody know.
Now, look, you done messed up. You done dove into my area. You know what I'm saying? I'm an avid fan of pizza. So listen here, the pizza and 49ers go hand in hand right here with your boys. So man, listen here. I was in Chicago. I'm not the biggest fan of deep dish. You know what I'm saying? That's not my stilo. I do like thick crust pizza, preferably pan tossed. There's this pizza in Detroit, in Michigan, place called Hungry Howie's. If you ever been to up north, so they have the flavored crust. So me personally, I like if I can build a pieces, like now people say I'm gonna build a wide receiver, and they take these pieces, these individuals from like other teams and build a wide receiver. We just have to build Jerry Rice. But anyway, so when I'm building this pizza, I would need the Cajun crust, thick crust from Michigan. I would love the regular not pesto, but the ragu or the sauce from me personally. I like what's my man's name? Papa John sauce. I like that sauce for some reason. It's good to me.
Speak on it.
The provolone cheese. Well, I live in St. Louis, so they got the provolone cheese here, and that's pretty good, nice and zesty or whatnot. I love fresh pineapples. I'm a pineapple guy. I put pineapples on my pizza. You know what I'm saying?
I was with you all the way till then.
Some people think that's a sin. Some people think that's a sin.
I tell them if it's a sin, I'll be Jesus. We can baptize you. We can cleanse you of that. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I love my pineapples and bacon, and you can throw in, we can look greener if we want to act like we want to be healthy, a little spinach here and there. And other than that, man, I'm good to go. Listen here, I'm fine with it. So that's my type of pizza right there.
And nothing goes together better with the football pizza. So
we just got a Hungry Howie's around the corner from us in Katy. I think they're trying to move out here in Houston.
Man, go out there and enjoy. They got like 7 flavors, 7
Really?
to 8 different flavors on their crust, man. It's yummy.
I gotta try it.
Let me see what's up to my good friend Dan Castillo. He doesn't live too far from me. We got to meet up one of these days, maybe at the Niner picnic over in the Sac area, Sac Town. He says, my man Bash, what's up, bro? Sorry, been missing your podcast, been working like crazy. Glad I was able to hop on around. Hey, I appreciate it, man. You're awesome. You don't have to watch it live, but hey, if you do watch the show and catch the replay, just go ahead and just drop a comment, man. We love what you guys do when you support the channel.
I appreciate you.
Yes, that's right, DJ Cal. Thank you. And 49er Dude says pizza is what you make it. He likes olives. I like olives on combination. If it's a combination pizza or even a pepperoni, olives, and mushrooms, I'm in. I'm definitely in. And he's giving a shout out to Eddie's Pizza right here. And pizza's always good. Can't complain with that. But let's talk about these Niners, man. We've been cooking up some draft picks and I'm signing some UDFAs. This question goes for you, Twin Maker and Pete. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead. But when the 49ers traded up in the 3rd round, what were you guys thinking and what was going through your mind and who were you screaming for? What player did you want?
You want to go first, Twin?
No, you got it, Pete. Go on here. I'll let you go first.
So I was not looking at Jair Brown. I wanted Jordan Battle out of Alabama. That was my guy. A little bit more athletic. I get it that he's probably not a I got to chalk it up to that he's just not a 49er guy, like they like to say. And because the guy was way more athletic. But I'm happy with the Jair Brown pick. The 49ers are going to be high. I trust this regime to put good football players out on the field. So from what I've seen of Jair Brown, I think he's going to be a good football player. The only thing that I'm wary of is the fact that he looks like a little bit faster of a Hufanga style player, and he's so what I worry about is the angles. If they take a bad angle, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If you get around that corner, it's they're gone. Like they don't have makeup speed. So that's the only thing I worry about with having both of them on the field at the same time. But it is what it is. I still think he's going to be a good player.
And to preface the draft in general, I try not to follow up with certain players, but I did so many mock drafts, and the more mock drafts I did, the more I learned about certain players, and then you kind of get attached to certain players too. So, and then it is what it is. It happens, man. So, and I knew about Jair Brown, but I didn't necessarily study him because I didn't dive deep into the safety. So let's say that. But after seeing his highlights and just seeing him on the phone with Wilkes, our new defensive coordinator, and hearing the bond and the connection they had, and I was excited, man. They're saying this guy's like another Hufanga type explosive playmaker, so I'm ready for it. Let me see what's up to Brandon Ferrigno really quick from Forever Faithful Podcast. This is what's up, family. We were on yesterday for the Warriors-Lakers stream. Lakers won. Congratulations to them. Steve Kerr pissed me off yesterday, and we lost. And Kuminga should have played. I was screaming, putting Kuminga so many times.
Y'all need some size. I will tell you that. You need some size. I've been saying
we needed size. When we traded Wiseman, I was like, what are you doing, Kerr? We got to trade this second overall pick in the draft. And if you're done with the guy, at least bring in a veteran center to give us some size to back up Looney. And then this guy wants to run. This is the smallest Warrior team in the whole Curry era. Put it that way. They've had. This is the smallest team they've ever put out. The first team they put out Bogut and Azili as center 1 and center 2, and they're both 7-footers. And now it's like we're just getting smaller each year, and I don't know.
They won with the same. They won with pretty much the same lineup last year, right?
Pretty close.
But I mean, did they face anybody that was an Anthony Davis type, where he's tall but he's still athletic?
No, nobody last year. We have guys that were athletic, far as lob threats and great defenders, but nobody who had an offensive package the way that Anthony Davis has. And again, I think that's been a lot of things that a lot of people have been mad at Bob Myers about, was his inability to go out there and find an athletic, big man, big five. And we see, I look at all basketball teams like New York, Knicks got tall. You got Mitchell and the backup guy, Winstead, whatever his name is. He's athletic. the Clippers, when they picked up Plumlee, I thought that was a great pick we could have got. Mason Plumlee, I thought he would have been a wonderful addition to the team. A high pick and roll lob threat and a good defender with high energy guy would have been awesome for our team. And for some reason, man, we've just been as stubborn, as hard-headed as can be. And I think this make these type of games here, when you play against a traditional team that does go inside out, is really hard on the guys. And so game one, hopefully we'll adjust, but I'm with Bashir. I thought we should have played Kuminga a lot more to use his athleticism. And though he's not the tallest, he's athletic as I don't know what. So we got to do something to kind of translate.
0 minutes for him, by the way, yesterday. 0.
Yeah, no, I saw it. They didn't really go too deep into the bench like they normally would. I noticed that too. Like when I looked at the box score in the morning, I watched the game, but like I looked at the box score just to get some context, and like because I felt like they didn't go deep into the bench, but they didn't really. And DiVincenzo gave y'all nothing yesterday. Like
it's not just yesterday. I'm just letting you know, Peter.
I said that honestly. I said that for Chris Polo because he told me that he was going to be a difference maker, and I said, and I told him,
wow, I would have went that far. No.
DiVincenzo is not going to be what you think he's going to be, but okay, it is what it is. This is a 49er show. We're trying to 49er show. We're trying to keep it positive.
We'll be talking. We're definitely going to catch up on the draft picks. You call me Bashir, so I'm kind of laughing. I always hate it when people call me, but it's okay. I'll let you slide.
I'm still country, so you're gonna have to correct me. Say it again.
Oh, Bashar.
Okay,
there you go.
Bashar.
You're not the only person that made that mistake, and it is an actual real name, so it almost means the same thing as my name does. But I just don't like being called that. It's just a pet peeve of mine. But it's all good. We're good. So Rick Diaz is here. What's up, Rick Diaz? He says, "I'm very, very hungry." Oh, you're hungry? All right. Why? Because we were talking about pizza, or I know, or you're just waiting for the regular season. He said, "I can't wait for the regular season." He's talking about Niner football. Man. Yeah. So when we traded up, I was on live on Niner Sickness podcast, his channel. Shout out to him. Him and Jess were holding it down. They were on, for day 2 and day 3 the whole time. I think even the first.
I got on real brief, and then but I couldn't. I was at work, and my phone started to overheat.
When you go on these live streams with your phone, it overheats your phone. You're right. Yeah. It's happened to me before, and so shout out to them. They were on for the whole draft, I believe. But I had the leeway. Beto left the door open for me to drop in and out. So every pick the 49ers made, I was actually on live with Beto on Niner Sickness podcast with him and Jess. And when we traded up, the first thing that came out of my mind in the third round was like, DeJuan Jones is still available. Let's get DeJuan Jones. DeJuan Jones, a tackle from Ohio State, 6'8". 350 pounds. He's rumored to be 400 pounds now or something, but I was pounding the table for him because everybody kept telling me when I was talking about him on Twitter, "Oh, why do you keep talking about this guy? He's not going to be available when we pick. He's not going to be available when the 49ers pick, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, okay, well, he's fucking available right now.
I mean, take your pick. Take your pick of who was available. Everybody was available. Like all the guys that the 49er fans have been talking about, and everybody that have mock drafted, all of the guys were available. It was. I thought it was weird. I don't really care what Lynch and them say. It was. I get it that there might not be a guy that you prototypically think that always going to be a starter day one, but just like they got these other guys, it should have been. You think of him as a developmental person, because Trent Williams ain't going to be there forever. So I don't know what the plan is there.
And
Brandon says I was there too, so I was on with you when you were on. My bad, I forgot you were on. So that's all good.
Yeah,
and I didn't remember. I didn't know that you were on too, Pete. But go ahead.
I was on there real brief. I was only on there for 20, 30 minutes because I tried to get on outside in my car, and then the phone just overheated.
Hey, Brandon, when you were on, where you're saying, "Hey, it's me, Mario," doing your Super Mario Brothers impersonations. Go ahead, Twin.
Nah, I think one thing about John Lynch as of late, man, and just with the organization in general, with the draft, it's so hard to kind of get really excited for me because they do a lot of anonymous things, after they pick up players. And so just as a 49er fans of late, it just been like, man, I can't really think too much into what they do because some of these guys will be put on the shelf. We will never see again. Some of these guys will maybe, get a couple snaps and be in the doghouse. And so I have to play that long watch and see approach because, like you said, you can invest all this time into really getting to know who these guys are. and then next thing you know, they're shelved. And so I don't necessarily like that, and that's why I'd be like, hey man, let's see what's going to happen during the off season. And really, because we do have a lot of guys that we know of in the last 2 drafts that haven't really got a lot of playing time, but we know that they're there. And then you mix in the starters, and then you mix in the new batch of guys that just came in. You scratch your head sometimes and be like, where are you going to play? Or, like what's the angle? So that's where I kind of like sit back in the draft and kind of just have to wait until, later on in the season to kind of see what's really good with the mind of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going on with their minds, but we're on 49er Minded, so we're going to let you know what's going on with our minds, Pete and Twin over here and myself. Yeah, so, the whole time I wanted to watch Joe, so we passed up on him with the kicker, Jake Moody and Cameron Latou, the tight end. I was pretty up in arms. I was like, dang, but then, I had a feeling Shanahan probably wouldn't go for him because he was huge and overweight like Trent Brown. He didn't want to weigh himself at the combine from what I heard. And then he was telling them, I just found out today that he was telling people that were interviewing him that he had aspirations and dreams to go to the NBA. So it's like, I don't know, man. Yeah. So, after that, it's like, we're definitely not going to draft him there if he doesn't sound committed. But let me ask you guys this. What was running through your minds when it was the other pick in round 3 and we ended up getting a kicker, Jake Moody?
Your turn, Twin.
It was like, honestly, I wasn't expecting that early, but Gold has been, as we know, he's been kind of like tinkering on retirement for a while, and so you knew we needed a kicker, but I wasn't thinking we're going to use a kicker that a draft pick that early for one. I don't mind getting a kicker. It's just a position, or not position, just a draft pick that we use to get one. And so my thing was it was like how John Lynch did when somebody mentioned Trey Lance's name and he kind of like do this. Like he did that right there. So that's what I was.
Maybe he's got dandruff. I don't know.
I was like, okay, Jake. Oh, all right. I guess I'm not happy, but then he's a 3rd round pick, so he might not never even see the field. So
yeah.
Take it away, Pete.
Like I will say this. So at the beginning, when I first saw, I was actually watching Brad Graham's live stream at the time. And he starts laughing and saying that they took a kicker like 50 times. I guess he couldn't believe that they took a kick. I was shocked. I was just like, they're not going to go that. They're not that far gone. Like they're not going to go all the way just because last year they had the draft really was kind of out of whack. Everybody kind of thought that they were all over the place and that they didn't really pay attention to draft value. So we shouldn't have been surprised this year when they did what they did. But it looks like now they don't care anything about draft value. It's not about draft value. They just wanted the guys that they wanted, and they didn't care in what order like they had to get them. They just wanted, they had their guys, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go boom, 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 and no matter what. So I that's the way it looked like to me, at least, because it didn't look like they were paying attention to anyone else that fell to them or any of it. I don't think that they were even planning on those tackles being there that late. And they already had a plan, and they probably saw them there, and they probably still say, hey, stick to the plan, because there's no other explanation. You don't take a kicker in the 3rd round, not just because you don't take a kicker in the 3rd round, but because now he doesn't just have the pressure of replacing Robbie Gould. He has the pressure of being a third round selection as a kicker, in which nobody gets drafted that high. First off, nobody gets drafted that high and succeeds. Most in the last 20 years, it doesn't happen. There's only been one kicker in the last 20 years. Yep. I saw somebody put a stat out there.
I saw that list too.
They said that there was that none of them, all of the guys that worked out were undrafted. undrafted.
Usually the best kickers are undrafted. Yeah.
So it's baffling to me. No, and then Kyle tried to say that he tried to lie to all of us and say that most kickers are taken in the 4th round, which was a lie. Like, I mean, it was just the whole thing was weird to me. Like, they should have just said, "Hey, we had our process. This is who we were picking, and these are the guys that we wanted from the first of the draft." That's all they should have said. But it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that they kind of lied about the whole 4th round thing.
And like Maury Povich said, the lie detector proved that was a lie.
I mean, like 10 minutes later, after he said it, people were already putting it out on Twitter that's a lie. Like, that's a lie.
Hey, these guys are politicians, man. I've been seeing this for years, regardless of what regime we've had. Let me see what's up to TED Talks Ball. Where's he at? TED Talks Ball. So what's up, fellas? He said,
what's cracking?
How many UDFAs versus how many 3rd round kickers? And I know some people are justifying the kicker pick because, like, oh, well, he's the best kicker of the draft, and and we want him. And I know he can help us a whole lot with kickoffs. So I do understand the kickoff parts because we don't want people doing big returns on us on special teams. I get that part. But the part I didn't get where they were like, oh, well, it wasn't a 3rd round pick. It was at the bottom of the 3rd round. So it was like an early 4th round pick. And you could kind of say it that way, but I didn't really justify it that way. But my point was, usually in other drafts, you have a whole bunch of other picks that precede the 3rd round pick or the bottom, the early 4th round pick or whatever. And then, okay, fine. If you get a kicker in the mix, whatever. Like when we got Wisnowski in the 4th round, we had Bosa in that draft. We had Debo. We picked up Jalen Hurd, who was supposed to be something, but he got, his career went south. But then we got Wisnowski. It's not like our second selection of the day was a damn punter or kicker. And then people were like, "Oh well, Tampa Bay, the Patriots traded up early in the 4th round, so that doesn't, just because what other teams are doing doesn't really justify that we should get that guy, because we have our own holes to fill." And the reason why I was pounding the table about a damn DeJuan Jones, or just even if they got Freeland, was that, wait, what happened to all these quarterbacks that got hurt on our squad? Like, are we still going to try to protect the quarterback? I mean, I thought that was the priority going into this offseason. And McGlinchey left, and now we have McKivitz, who they're throwing in there, who they're trying to tell us, so he must be Joe Staley 2.0.
Well,
like this guy must be fucking Anthony Munoz, or like a whole all-world tackle that we don't know about. And oh wow, watch out for McKivitz, guys! I'm about to get my McKivitz jersey right now.
I don't think he's all world, but I will say this: last season, what happened? They said, "Hey, we're confident in Brendel. We're confident in Brendel. We're confident in Aaron Banks. We're confident in the guys that we have in the building." And those guys ended up to be a pretty good offensive line. I get it. So I don't know that I fully trust McKivitz, and I'm on a wait and see on that. But I don't put it out of the realm that it could happen. Brendel. Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying don't throw all your eggs in one basket with this McKivitz guy.
I feel you.
Try to challenge him at least.
Bring somebody to challenge him. They were speaking on it in the presser, like they had depth behind him, like, because the other guy that they got in free agency, he has starting experience. I can't remember what his name is. Pryor.
Yeah, Pryor. He sucks. He sucks.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that he doesn't, but what I'm saying, I think that they're looking at it is they have depth behind him in Pryor, and they're saying Nick Zakelj can play 1 through 5.
Hey, they too cocky, man. This is the issue. Let's keep it a bean. We got some cocky mofos in that guy doggone.
I love this.
And they think that they can sit here and put wet mud together and it's gonna hold up a doggone brick building. And you're like, no, it's not gonna happen that way, man. We gotta realize that we need to go out there and really invest in that offensive line, because I think somebody asked Kyle, like, hey man, why is it your quarterbacks keep getting hurt? And he's like, well, and he likes to try to be a little nonchalant and say, he's like, no, dude, there's something that you are doing that's consistent throughout the last 7 years that we always see a quarterback getting hurt. When are you going to look in the mirror and say, you know what? Let we see that there is a, there is a focus. There is a definite belief in the defensive line that you want to go out there and draft somebody consistently on that defensive line. Like we've seen first round draft picks used on the defensive line. We just saying like we got quarterbacks that are made out of wet paper mache back there. Like, dude, if we don't sit here and turn around and draft somebody that can really be a fortress, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
we got an issue, because now Kyle, you trying to outsmart yourself, and it hasn't worked for us. At the most precious position in sports, we have not built a strong foundation around them guys. And so to me, that's on Kyle and John for sitting here being very casual when it comes to that line. I think you just can pick and pull somebody and say, go out there and play, because that's how we do our quarterbacks the same way. I think you just can pick and pull somebody and they can go out there and be successful. It's like, no, our team has been talented all around to be able to overcome your shortcomings when it comes to the offensive line and the quarterback position. We got to change. Time for a change.
I'm with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've been successful, but we are lackadaisical when it comes to other areas. And I guarantee you, if we just mess around and try to fix things a little bit more than we normally do, you'll finally see another Lombardi. I truly believe that.
Hey, I say that we should just pick offensive line like we do our running backs. Like every year we get them in and get them. Like, dude, just do that at least, but just don't do it in the third round because those players never even play. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's a mistake.
They got an undrafted guy that might beat out TDP.
I think he might beat out Jordan Mason. To be honest with you,
hey, don't talk about my boy JP.
I'm just saying. TDP and Mason, and both of them might be on notice. He might be better than both.
But see,
we'll talk about those guys though.
Oh, wait. My question would be this to both of you guys: even if he beat out Jordan Mason, will he even get 5 carries in the game?
Good question. Yeah. Hey, we might rack up 30 carries from McCaffrey. You never know. Let me see what's up. Say what's up with it. If I missed anybody, see what Supremos here said. Mentioned Sebastian Janikowski. The Raiders had picked him in the first
30
round.
years ago.
He had a good career though. He had a good career.
He had a great career.
Set some records, I believe. So it was just a joke in the beginning, but I still would never draft a kicker in the first round. That's just me.
Yeah. They drafted him in the first.
Yes,
his leg was about as wide as my shoulders are. Like one leg was. Come on.
He was pretty built for. He's a bigger
he was
kicker,
like an offensive lineman as a kicker.
Almost like a linebacker. Yeah. So how about the camera the 2 pick? What were you guys thinking there? Because I honestly thought I felt like we reached for him, but others were saying different things about him. A lot of people like him. What were you guys thinking about that pick? Camera the 2 out of Alabama tight end.
It was too high. It was too high to pick him there. Nobody was thinking of picking him at that spot. I don't think. I think him and Braden Willis were about on the same level.
Yeah.
And I get it that every team has their board, but at the same time, he didn't have any significant traits that would say pick him in the 3rd round. Now, if you say that you wanted your 2 tight ends and you had to pick him there because you were going to pick Braden Willis later and you were going to pick your guys, you had a drawn out plan of who you wanted. That's fine. I get it because I think that's what happened. That we were just talking. I was just talking about it. I think that they knew exactly who they wanted. They said, okay, this is the order we're going to go in to make sure we get the guys that we want. And then that's just the way it was. But I don't think he deserved to be picked there. The pick might end up being okay, but I just don't think that he's going to be any more than a tight end 2.
Yeah,
I want David Allen.
I watched, and tight end was a position I did scout because I mentioned how I didn't scout the safeties really too much early in the draft. But I did like the Jair Brown pick. Don't get me wrong. But when I saw Cameron the 2, I did definitely scout him because I came across his name a whole lot in the mock draft. So I was looking him up and seeing what he was about. And I thought certain guys looked like much better playmakers and look more dynamic. And I don't know. I mean, from what I hear about Cameron the 2, he does everything pretty good, but nothing about him stands out to me.
So we all watched that same video, right? When he got drafted, y'all was looking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did y'all see my man's behind him though?
Oh, that humongous human being.
I was like, why we?
Well, I'm from Carson.
Did you see
I'm from
him?
Carson. Anybody that knows Carson, those are my people.
Did y'all see
it was
that
all, he got some. Those Hawaiian and Samoan
Tongans and Samoans.
Yeah, they grow them big.
My God, the dude was. Did you see my man's? Because I was looking, and
I was like, did we draft him or
I
his
was
brother?
looking, I'm like, bro, look over your shoulder, man. You got Jolly the Green Giant behind you, my G. Like, did you?
Yeah.
I was like, man, we drafted the wrong person on camera. That's all.
One thing I've seen about Camera too, and some people were saying that they said he's a pretty good red zone threat. So hopefully he brings that to his game in the NFL. Hopefully it translates. Hopefully it's not a long maturation period with him. I'm trying to be positive about the pick. I do like the Brandon Willis too. Yeah, Jason, he's half Polynesian, really good dude, awesome guy, man. Poly proud baby. So what up, Jason? And Snapman's here. What's up, Snapman? My boy, Mr. Snapple from Twitter, Mr. Snapple Facts. Says, what's good? Good to have you here, man.
What up, though, Snap?
Yeah, I'm sure you probably know who he is if you've been on Spaces. Yeah, so let's go through the other picks. I know it's got a lot of names to cover. This was a name that I wasn't familiar with, but certain people on Twitter and certain people that I know were saying they like the pick, and he's pretty good. I just didn't. This is one of the names that I didn't research, and I did research other cornerbacks, but we did draft Darrell Luter Jr. In the fifth round cornerback from South Alabama. Got any thoughts about that guy? Whoever wants to go first.
You want to go to him? Oh, okay. I think Luter is going to be a good player. I think he's going to be a solid depth piece. And I think he's a 49er style cornerback, like long arms, long arms. He's got some speed to him. And I believe he was like in the high 4.4s. But yeah. He's got some dog to him. What I liked that they said about him on the press conference is that he's a grown man. He's married, got a kid already, and he's got something to play for. So I like that. I like that version, that, and I like that the 49ers take those things into account, because when you got something to play for and you gotta have it. A lot of time those guys will go above and beyond, and that's what we need from our depth pieces. Hey. I think he's going to be special teams, though, of course, in the beginning.
Character is important. Character matters. What up, Twin? Any thoughts on this guy, Darrell Luter Jr., cornerback?
Honestly, I think he's going to be somebody back in the back. You know what I mean? Nobody. I mean, I think someone said something earlier. Most of these guys are like pieces that would be depth if somebody get injured or whatnot, but nobody just to me has jumped off there like, ooh, can he be vying for the nickel position? Like, I don't think so. So I think he'd be a good guy, but most of the guys I think we just drafted are kind of like they're cool pieces. Nobody to make me kind of be like, ooh, just yet. So I really have to reserve my judgment.
I got you. So let's talk about the other round fifth selection. This guy I wasn't really aware of. A lot of these guys are sleeper type guys. Robert Beal Jr., a defensive end from Georgia. He's built like, he's carved out of stone. He looks great, in pads and shoulders, but shoulder pads and all that. In his uniform, he can he's a combine freak. He can freaking run like a gazelle, 4.4, 940. I believe his counterpart Nolan Smith was drafted by the Eagles, and some scout was saying at times on film, Beal was actually showing up a little bit more than Nolan Smith was, so that was good to know. And one thing I do like about this pick, is that I'm not that familiar with the guy, but Kosirik loves him. That made me feel a lot better about the pick.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw when they were on the phone. Yep, and Kosirik basically told everybody that Kosirik has something called the GTFO rating.
Yeah.
I think it's like get the fuck off the line of scrimmage or something. Get the fuck off the ball. Basically, it's like a quick first step type of rating system he has, and he said that Robert Beal Jr. had the best GTFO rating out of anybody in the whole draft. So I like the pick in that regard. Go ahead, guys.
Knowing Kyle, he might hit the Drake Jackson and get in a couple snaps, and that's be it, though. Like, you missing your blocks. I mean, not your block, but like you was horrible blocking the run. You know what I'm saying? Getting off your shedding your block against the run, and I don't care how fast you run, come sit by me. Like that's the situations that we got to really like that I think about with our team, because even though somebody can be extremely talented and like with speed, that rope is so short, man, and that like you kind of hope that these guys have the opportunity to get those snaps in to mess up, but at the same time learn so they can use those physical traits, like you said, because we do need somebody to come off that edge and help him with Bosa, bringing that pressure. So, I mean, like somebody said, in t-shirts, in shorts, that man looks mean, and he was fast as I don't know what, but hey, we just got to see that he will get some playing time.
Yeah, he ran like a 4.49, if I'm correct.
He did.
You like 280 pounds, 283
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think he was like I think it was
about 265 or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was but look, Robert Beal is the speed rusher that the 49ers have been waiting for. Like, that's the way I look at this. Like, I don't think I agree with you, Twin. I don't think that we're gonna see what that is this year. And I think that all of these picks are the same thing. Like, we're probably not gonna get to see them contribute this year unless it's on special teams. I do think that they're gonna make the squad. But I don't even think that they can put him on the practice squad because somebody's gonna snatch him up. Because he's athletic. I mean, he's a piece. So I just think that he's going to contribute somehow, some way. I just don't know. I think it might be on special teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how much playing time these guys actually get. So I'm not trying to overhype them.
The 49ers rotate their guys, but I heard some people comparing him to Samson Ebicom.
Hopefully he's better than.
I said, no, don't do that. Oh,
yeah, no, we say that, but the Colts, he just got signed by the Colts, and they're all happy about it. They broke down his numbers. Shout out to Silu. They broke down his numbers and talking about oh well, pressures and all that kind of stuff, because he's exactly that. He's on the numbers, QB pressures, QB hits. He can get there. He just never quite gets there in time.
Sound like Kyle Shanahan coaching in playoffs games. He can get there.
Close, but no cigar. Exactly. What's it called? Jason said Polly Proud Baby. He said he's half Polynesian. He said
shout out to all my Polly people.
His nephew is 14 and 6 feet and 290 solid. Or maybe the 49ers should sign him up. I don't know. So our next pick, the next pick was the one pick. That was the pick where I actually got excited, and surprisingly in the 5th round, some good players were still available in these lower rounds, actually. And that was D Winters, linebacker from TCU. I'm not sure if we mentioned him on the draft show that I had you on, Pete. Maybe not, but I definitely mentioned him when I had Kelts on, and we had picked him in the 7th round when I had Kelts on the show, and Kelts was unaware of him. But that was the one pick where I stuck my neck out for the guy when we were doing the mock draft. And when we were over with the draft, I actually pulled up.
We talked about him. I remember we talked about him
a little bit. Yeah. And I pulled up his highlight reel when I had Kelts on, and I was really excited when we got him. I was like, yes, this guy's explosive. He can make big plays. They said he had problems shedding off blocks from offensive linemen and all that. Smaller guy, but he played against a top-notch offensive line against Michigan and had an amazing game. So I don't know if you guys like the pick, but you guys can speak on it. D Winters, linebacker from TCU.
I love the pick, but you can go ahead, Twin.
No, I mean, he on camera, like I said, he pops out. Whenever you do watch film, you want to see somebody that kind of like, ooh, who that is right there. And with our team, especially with my guy Dre Greenlaw, he kind of gets mixed up. He get hurt at least 3 or 4 games per season, and losing Al Shazier, who was a vet as well. You want that experience and that athleticism. So he doesn't have the experience, but you will hope that linebacker room continues to develop individuals. We got McCary Ball in there as well. We got Flanagan still, but I really like somebody like him who have those traits where he can learn underneath a Dre Greenlaw and a Fred Warner. So I'm excited to see that, because you probably will see him on special teams, getting the opportunity to go out there and hit people, use that speed he has. And, so I wasn't mad about that pick. It's one of those picks where we're not sure when we will see him play on defense, but hopefully, if he does get in there, he can showcase his talent with that supporting cast that he has around him. So,
Yeah, and another speed guy. I think he ran like a 4.4, 840 as well. So we have guys that look crazy on the blitz. Jair Brown can blitz like crazy. Hufanga. Now we got him. We got Greenlaw and Fred Warner. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this defense.
It's going to be interesting this year because in the past we haven't been a blitz heavy team, but Wilkes likes to blitz.
Yes.
So it's going to be it's going to be kind of a changing of the guard. It'll be interesting to see the guys that we have blitzing because we don't have linebackers. Our linebackers just don't have a lot of size. So are they going to just get kind of caught up in the mix are they going to be that dynamic? But I love D Winters. I think that he's another sideline to sideline guy. And I look at him as a mini Greenlaw, and it's weird to say that he's a mini Greenlaw, but he's smaller, but I think he's a good. I don't understand why he can't be a safety. He's 5'11".
He's a former strong safety. He fits the mold.
Okay.
He does fit the mold of a lot of linebackers that we picked up. Aziz is a former strong safety, so I think he'll fit in just fine. And sure, DFF was there, Demetrius Flanagan-Foles, Michael McCurry Ball, but we lost Aziz, and I think it's nice to have this guy in the mix with our depth. Smitty's here. He's a big Niner fan, and he's been hooting and hollering about the Lakers. Says Lakers in 6, so we got Pete's a Laker fan, so it makes him smile cheek to cheek.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that series goes. I'm not going to talk any smack or whatever, and I'm still kind of mad about yesterday's outcome. It is what it is.
Sure.
But you look to find another day, as they say. Braden Willis was drafted in round 7, the other tight end. This guy is versatile. I think a lot of people like this tight end better. You guys can speak up on him and let us know what you think.
Swag.
Yeah.
Moxie. Pizzazz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember we got into a little argument. And I didn't say argument. I don't know, Pete, was you in this space about a month and a half ago? We was like, we got too many nice guys, too many
Yeah. They've been saying that for years.
Nice guy.
Hi, how are you? And you like, come on, my guy. I understand that, we want some guys that are good character individuals, but I'm a Warriors fan. I like a Draymond Green. I don't mind having one or two of those individuals.
You need that mix. You just do.
You need somebody who a little bit off the rocker a little bit. Somebody go over there if your defense ain't playing right. And it doesn't mean he's doing it every game, but somebody to kind of press that button and to kind of get people fired up, whether it's on offense or defense. And so I like just how he was talking, his confidence to say, hey, man, y'all done messed up. And I really believe we need that type of energy, especially if he's going to be, we might see him and Fred Warner lining up together, just messing around. And he going to talk noise to Fred. He's not going to sit there and say, just because you Fred Warner, I'm a kneel. He's like, nah, bro. Y'all got a dog right here, and I hope that he is a dog, a nasty dog, because I want to see us start running more 2 tight end sets, you know what I mean, and getting those individuals up the seams and using that part of the field to kind of open up some things for the guys on the boundary. So hopefully, he can back up as much as the things, all the things that he's talking about, because he comes from is the SEC, right? Yeah,
no, he's big. Because he's Oklahoma.
Yeah. Every time I see them colors, I get them confused sometimes between Oklahoma.
I don't know what they call it now. Big 12, Big 10, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So I'm kind of excited. I just like I said, his personality, he wins me over.
Yeah, he was super excited when he did that backflip in the swimming pool with his clothes on. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at Braden Willis as I think of him. He's going to be a practice squad guy. I think he's going to be a scout team guy. I do think that eventually he's going to get playing time. His 40 time wasn't great, but the way that they used him at Oklahoma, I think you've got to know that he's used to being used in multiple ways. So I think that that's going to be good for him. And yeah, I think he's going to be solid. I think that Cameron Latou is actually a better pass catcher than he is. And I think that if we're going to see those 2 tight end sets, I think Latou ends up being that guy. And I don't think Dwelly's out of the mix. Like when I know that we're kind of tired of seeing
I hope
Dwelly,
he is.
but I think he is, like because I mean he knows the system inside and out. These are rookies. These are rookies. They got to learn the system and learn where they got to be. You know, Kyle ain't putting them out there if they don't.
Hey,
if they're not doing their
True,
blocks
true.
and
No
if they're
block,
missing
no
their blocks.
rock.
So
hey,
it is
Sam
what
Darnold
it
will
is.
be out there. He ain't a rookie. He just learning to play with.
Who? Who?
Oh, you mean QB1?
Yeah, he don't know the playbook, but he's already being touted as the number one quarterback right now.
Kyle didn't say that. That was Lynch.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Rappaport that said it? Oh no, not Rappaport. The
it was Rappaport.
It was Rappaport. No, but the coach
like,
that works with Sam Darnold, I forgot his name. He said that.
Derek
Jordan Palmer.
There you go. You guys can imitate what he said. Mimic it.
Look, this I will say this. I'm going to say this about Rappaports and all those guys. Like they're great for the transaction when the transaction hits, but anything else, they are wrong. 75 to 80% of the time, they're wrong. Like when they start speculating, they're wrong. When they say they started hearing about rumblings about this, they're wrong. That like it's not going to happen. Whatever they say. At least when it comes to the 49ers.
Hey, there's insiders of the 49ers who say the same thing. So
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And they wrong.
And you know what? So I'm starting to think that some of these Niners brass are feeding wrong information to some media members. I've been saying that
for the last couple of years.
I think they're doing it on purpose.
They're doing it on purpose. Like
it's
that.
Hilarious.
Why would when you think about it from a organizational standpoint? Why would I give this guy information when I'm in the middle of a negotiation? And so that he can tell everybody what I'm doing. Like, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. Anybody that's been in a negotiation, part of a negotiation, knows that if the fans and everybody else has information on it, it gives away your power.
Yeah.
You give away your power in the negotiation. So I've always thought that that these teams have been feeding these guys misinformation, and they're just getting used. But nobody seems to care that they're wrong, like so much.
Oh, we at them now. Believe me, we be like at you. What are you talking about? What are y'all saying? And then they really don't have nobody to hold them accountable, and they just say some of the most.
Yeah, but 2 weeks later they say something else crazy, and everybody's back to Rappaport said blah 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 blah, and like, okay, well, I mean, he was just wrong about like 2 or 3 things, and y'all just went right back to him. But okay,
it's egregious.
Yeah, these guys are crazy. Silly. What about the 7th round pick that we got, the wide receiver from Michigan, Ronnie Bell? What'd you guys think about that?
Go blue.
Oh, you're a Michigan fan. You guys speak on the first thing. Go.
Ronnie Bell. So this is the thing. Ronnie Bell is a solid wide receiver. I think he's going to be a solid pro wide receiver. Michigan doesn't pass the ball. They don't pass the ball at all. But Ronnie Bell, when they did pass the ball, Ronnie Bell, 9 times out of 10, he's getting the ball. So Ronnie Bell is a really good route runner. He's not explosive, but he's going to make at least one guy miss. One guy's going to miss. And then he's going to get 5 or 6 yards. He's good for 5 or 6, maybe 10 yards. And then somebody else is going to get him because he's not fast. But he's good. He's going to be good out of the slot. Like I think Ronnie Bell was a pretty good pickup, and he's going to block. This guy is going to block day one. Day one, he's going to block because that's all he did at Michigan.
He's got pretty average speed, but they even ran him on some of those Deebo Samuel type jet sweeps.
Which made no sense because he didn't have speed. You watch the tape of those types of plays. How many of those did he break anything? He didn't break nothing. I never understood why they tried to use him like that because he's not that type of guy. But he was the toughest guy that they have, and he was always really good at making one guy miss. So, but Ronnie Bell, I like the pick.
Okay,
seventh round. He's going to be a pro.
That's what I've been hearing about. What do you think, Twin?
I mean, our wide receiver core, Okay, we're talking about the Niners. I'm still trying to see what my man's from the SMU gonna do.
Danny
Danny?
Gray. Hey, if
over
freaking
here.
Trey Lance is the QB, we're gonna see some Danny Gray.
Yeah,
in
it just
this.
depends on who's
Listen,
QB.
Listen, so I mean, Juwan, like he third down and Juwan is cool, but I do believe it's time that we get somebody who's dynamic, or at least, like the semi scary, because we need that third wide receiver to kind of open up the offense, in my opinion, especially when teams begin to understand our passing offense and kind of get a breakdown. Well, at the time, I thought with Brock Purdy, like I think teams were becoming a little more adjusted to what it is that we did for him, and so you kind of needed another individual to go out there and bring some divisiveness on the defensive side. But hopefully, man, this guy is decent. He's cool, but I just hope that we see somebody else out there, man. Because Calby, if he can't block for real,
Yeah.
he gonna be sitting right there on the bench next to
Ronnie's gonna block. I'm gonna tell you that straight off the top. Like that's the one thing that he is going to do. He is gonna be a good blocker.
Okay, then. Well,
but Juwan Jennings is gone after this season. Like he's done after this season.
Blame him.
Like, I mean, because he's gonna
hope not.
I mean, they're not gonna re-sign him. I highly doubt they re-sign him. And like they're just gonna feel like they can get that type of production from somewhere else.
But see, he one of the only like kind of dog that we like. Let's be honest, he's the only one good little loose screw. He don't be acting crazy sometimes. Everybody else is quite sane. Like we need more.
Brandon can get a little. He can get a little chippy. Brandon gets a little chippy out there.
He does, but he's still kind of like swaggy about it.
But I mean, he's the
still
star.
Like
he's the star.
Brandon like still take 2 showers a day. Juwan would miss 3 days in a row and don't take a shower. You know what I'm saying? He that type of person. You can tell he nasty. You know what I mean? Like,
oh man,
like we need somebody like Juwan. You know what I'm saying?
I love Juwan, but I just don't think. I think he's going to outplay his
contract.
Yeah, he's going to outplay his. I mean, when you say outplay his contract, he ain't gonna. He's like what, the 6th option. Like he's not gonna have volume, but some team is gonna pick him up because they're gonna pay him more than what he's worth. Look at what happened with Bourne.
Oh yeah,
did Bourne have tons of production? No,
and I like Jennings a lot more than Bourne. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Hey, speaking of wide receivers, the receiver that I thought we'd be able to draft, that these mocks and all these websites kept making that seem like he'd be available at the end of the 3rd or somewhere in the 5th, was Jonathan Mingo, and he ended up going around 2.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. I wish we would have got him. I would have went crazy if we got him.
I could not believe he went that high.
Yeah, well, so why not? Because I saw a lot of good stock in the guy.
Oh no. Yeah, I think he's a good receiver. I think that they're expecting him to be that Deebo Samuel type of guy, a lot of yards after the catch. I just don't see taking him in the 2nd round. Like, I don't think he's good. Do you think he's going to be as good as Deebo? I'm talking about Deebo's.
No, not like Deebo. No, but
I'm talking about even Deebo's rookie season.
When I do look at the guy, I say poor man's AJ Brown. I say emphasize poor man's.
Yeah,
but I would have loved to have had him in the mix of our guys. Though.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, 4th string Brown, 4th string Deebo, or like 4th round Deebo. Like I could see that.
Like, but he'll be the 3rd wide receiver on our team, though, wouldn't he?
3rd wide receiver. I'm trying to think. Like on our team, yes, but I mean that's not saying much.
Exactly. That's the
look at Twin.
Yeah, that's not saying much. Like I mean, we they don't draft wide receivers like that. Like they got Deebo, and then they got Ayuk, and then after that they were like, okay, late round, and we will trade for some special teamers that might be good. But we got our 2.
Look, that is it. Well, that's why I said sometimes it'd be so hard to evaluate the 49ers draft because they are they're an enigmatic team. Like you never really, it's hard to figure out what it is that they truly are thinking. And I think they do it on purpose sometimes, and then sometimes they sprinkle a little truth in there as well to kind of maybe keep you like, ooh, okay, well, maybe I am on the right track. And you like, dude, yeah, I be playing mind games so often, and I think that's another reason why. I mean, us three in here right now, and reason why our fan base is what it is, like why we're so avid, why we're so tuned in to the things that we're doing, because they really are here be messing around with these pieces and playing with our emotions, man. And
anything can happen.
Anything can happen, man. And they be having us from when we lose all the way up until the first kickoff of the season, man. We be really like, we be in tune, because they one thing I tell people, they are the Dallas Cowboys of the West. Like, they keep us intrigued, they keep us on our toes, and they keep doing certain moves. You like, what? Huh? Why? Huh? What's going on? Okay. And so I give them props for that, man. They're not boring. I'll tell you that much.
Nope.
Okay, so and I pretty much covered all the picks of our last guy, Jalen Graham, linebacker. I wasn't really familiar with this guy. I don't know if you know anything about him. You said, what'd you say? What'd you say?
He ain't worth mentioning. Like it's like yeah, just watch the tape. He ain't worth mentioning. Like I don't understand. They said that on the presser, they said that they had him and D Winters graded the same, which I was like, well, after watching, I was like, there's no way that you had them graded the same. And so then they said when he was still there in the 7th round, where they were picking at 255, like they had to take him. I just, sometimes they're just disingenuous. I think that he was there. I don't think that they had anybody that they really wanted to draft at all. I think it was all going to be undrafted free agents at that point. And that, because I don't think anybody else would have picked him up. There was only 4 more picks left. But yeah, I don't think Jalen Graham is that's his name, right? Jalen Graham.
Jalen Graham for Purdue linebacker.
Yeah.
The only cool thing that I noticed about him was that he said that he watches from the Super Bowl onwards. I believe he was the one who said it, that he's been watching Fred Warner a lot and the 49ers. And
yeah,
so
they were trying to compare him to Fred Warner. He runs a 4.6, 4.64.
One of those other guys we drafted was trying to say he was a big time 49er fan. I forgot what it was. I kind of missed that, but it's cool. But I mean, it's not the end all be all. I'd rather just have them be hella good and not grow up a 49er fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Somebody's got to not make it. Somebody's got to not make the team.
There'll be a lot of those.
So I think
roster,
unfortunate for Jalen Graham, I think that's him.
I mean, Shanahan said, "Hey, this team doesn't have any holes." I wish he didn't say it like that, but we do have a deep roster. I mean, we were talking about offensive linemen earlier, and even towards like the 5th and 7th round, like a lot of names. I believe Ryan Hayes from Michigan was still available in round 5 or maybe round 7. Like certain names that I was noticing in these mock drafts, so I thought would be available only in rounds 3 and 4, kind of dropped down, and it just baffled me because I always thought of Kyle as somebody who built for the trenches, and he does build for defensive line trenches. But I thought he would always say that, if I'm going to build a team from scratch, I'm always starting from the trenches. So I don't know, this whole offensive line thing. We did sign an undrafted free agent, Joey Fisher. He's a right tackle. Let me just give you guys the rundown on him. He said he patterns his game after Trent Williams, and when you watch him, he throws people around, he tosses people around. He had the most bench reps for any offensive lineman in the combine, 40 bench press reps. It might have been the most in the combine period, because 40 is a whole lot. Ran a 4.9 40. He had an amazing 10-yard split, I think 1.69 or some crap, and 6'4", 300 pounds, and he can move. He's strong, and he throws people around. They said he's got to work on technique, and he didn't really necessarily play against top competition. He played at Shepherd, a small college, but he was originally committed to Maryland as a tight end. So he's a similar story like Joe Staley, where they are both tight ends coming out of high school. So hopefully we got something in this guy. I know he wasn't drafted. Mel Kiper was saying that Mel Kiper thought we were going to draft him at pick 99 overall. So I don't know what you guys think about that guy, if you guys researched him at all. So
yeah, I looked. Did you look at him, Twin?
You don't have to be happy with that response, sir.
No. I'm sorry. I mean, we're talking about the undrafted free agents. So and I mean, there are going to be a couple of them that are really good. There was actually a couple that I was really excited about. But Joey Fisher, I would say he's a guy. It's going to be another developmental guy, because he's got short arms.
He's got short arms.
and he's got no starting. He doesn't have long enough arm. He doesn't have as long of arms as any starting tackle in the league. So he's probably going to be a guard. Like that's
T-Rex.
Yeah, he's going to probably be a guard. I think he has 32-inch arms. But yeah, he's probably going to be. He's quick. He's quick for his size, and I think that, like you said, he's used to dealing with D2 competition. It's going to be a big jump for him, which means that they're going to have to develop. They're going to have to get him some grown man strength from somewhere, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to develop that. But I think he does have some nastiness to his game. Like he likes to pick people up and throw them to the ground, like, and that kind of stuff. So quite much like Mr. Burford last year when all that tape came out of him throwing.
Yeah, exactly. And that reminded me of Trent Williams. And he, again, Joey Fisher said he loves Trent Williams. So,
well, we'll know for sure if you get that phone call from Trent and he's down in Texas right now. Because that's where I got Aaron Banks and Buford was. They was down there with Trent in Texas for about a month. So let's see if he has I guess offensive lineman university going on down there in Texas, and is he prepping the next guy for not only his position but to make sure to bring depth as well. So because we're definitely going to need it.
Yep.
Well, speaking of university, Cameron Latou was one of only 3 college tight ends to attend George Kittle's infamous tight end university.
Oh, there it is. There's the connection.
There you go. Just throwing that twin. I got twin dancing. Whoa. Okay.
They said that Kittle told them that Kittle told them that he wanted him drafted. I don't think that they listened to Kittle. But
you sure?
I mean, it could be.
It kind of seems like they do listen to Kittle.
How about I say, look, Kittle got pulled.
It could be. So, like, I know that Kittle did tell them that he did make it known that he wanted Cameron Latou, but
and Jimmy Garoppolo back.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying, why would you listen? Like,
he listened to. Hey, he came back
when Kittle talks. People listen.
I'm hoping that it's not real because, like, I mean, Sam Bradford was with him at the game.
Darnold was at the Warriors Lakers game.
Yeah. So, like, I'm hoping that's not Darnold's not trying to get to the starting job through George Kittle.
He in there. Look, him and CMC been in like 2 games together. Look, they rocking hard right now. And listen, next thing you know, he will be on busting with the boys in about a week from now. Sam Darnold, because he was on busting with the boys earlier, about a year ago. So
is that what's going to start happening, Bashar? They're going to start coming out to the
like the NWO Wolfpack.
Yeah. Too sweet.
Shout out to Razor Ramon. Rest in peace, baby. That was my favorite finishing move for you guys who don't know.
What was your favorite move?
Oh, the Razor's Edge.
Oh, the Razor's Edge. Okay. R.I.P. man. These guys. I do my show called From Parts Unknown. We did 1 episode with Lawrence Jackson. He's my co-host and planning on doing more. If you guys are 80s and 90s wrestling fans, old school wrestling fans, you feel free to join me on the show in the future. Since you mentioned wrestling really quick and I dropped the NWO soundbite. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's another undrafted free agent. Thanks you for the reminder. For 49er dude, the rapper extraordinaire said, I'm more excited about Kalen LeBourne than any other draft pick. We have the boys of beast. This is a bell cow type running back. He's not your Raheem Mostert style blazer home run hitter. He's not a Chris CMC. He's a power runner with some good straight ahead speed. He can make people miss. He's shifty. But he's not slow, but he won't get you that home run threat. But he breaks tackles, and you can give him 30 carries, and he'll get the job done.
I think he had an injury. It wasn't ACL. I think he ripped off his kneecap somehow.
Whoa!
Something. I think that was his big. He had a big injury. I think that was him. Like, and he had some issues. He started out in Florida State. And then he ended up at Marshall, but he had some kind of gruesome injury, and that was why he ended up at Marshall. And then he just doesn't have a lot of sample size. He doesn't have a large sample size of playing time, and I think that's why he kind of fell out of and became undrafted. But I think they said he showed up and showed out at his the whatever workout that he had, and he's pretty quick. And he's got some stop and start ability that's pretty ill when you watch it in real time. So I think that is the guy. That's my guy in undrafted free agency. I think that's the one guy that has a chance to make to make the rotation. If there is a guy that, he is the guy.
Yeah, there's some other people I'm going to name in just a second. Let me say what's up to Ryan for No Border Sports. What's up, everyone? What up, Ryan? Good to have you here. Ryan talks
shout out to Ryan.
Niners.
Can I give Ryan a shout out for?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mentioned it on Twitter. I tweeted out about it, but he was the one person that was on my show and said that he didn't think that the 49ers were going to take a tackle in the draft. He was the only person.
Hey, he's right. He
crazy,
is right.
Crazy. I thought he was crazy. Which he is great. Which Ryan's crazy, but but still, it was good. Kudos to you, brother.
Check out Ryan's YouTube channel, No Border Sports. I put out the NWO soundbite earlier, and we do the NWO show. We do it every Monday. So we rotate channels, and we did it on Ryan's channel this past Monday. Aaron, we started off doing it on Aaron's, and it's going to be on Niner Sickness, and it might be on my channel Monday. If not, probably on Niner Sickness channel, which is cool. And yeah, probably on Niner Sickness channel. Go ahead.
I would say I was looking at your boy, LeBarn.
The running back? Yeah.
Yeah, he run a 4.4 40.
Mm-hmm.
He can bench press 225, 23
He's a strong runner. He's strong.
38-inch vertical, 38.5-inch vertical, 10.5 in the broad jump, 6.92 in the cone. Oh, I mean, he got some on paper. Looks good.
No, I mean, you got to look at his. I mean, all I could find was highlights of it.
Yeah, I want to look at him run a little bit.
But the stop and start ability, like the first step, is pretty nasty.
Okay.
Yep.
Another
so
one.
We did pick up another running back in Ronald Awatt as an undrafted free agent, 5'11", 205 for Texas El Paso. I watched very little of his film. I kind of got a little bit of Matt Breida vibes, but I didn't necessarily get
Jeff Wilson.
I didn't get the huge breakaway home run speed that I was used to. I was hoping we'd have gotten a guy like that, but I know No Border Sports right here likes Ronnie Awatt. And yeah, LeBourne, you're right. LeBourne had a really good game against Notre Dame. They gave him Doak Walker running back of the week back in 2021 when he had that nice game against Notre Dame. So that was a good game to take note of. Thank you, 49er for the reminder. But are you guys familiar with this Ronald Awatt guy from Texas El Paso, the running back? And you guys pull film on him?
Yeah, I looked at some of his highlights because it's hard to get like real film on some of those.
No,
some of these
highlight.
guys.
Hey, when I say film, I mean highlights, whatever.
Yeah. I like he is Jeff Wilson. He's one of those guys that is just gonna do his job. He's gonna get you 4 or 5 yards, but he is not going to. He might break off a chunk of 10 to 15 yards from time to time, but he's not going to break away at all. But he's a solid back and does his job. He's one of those. He's a solid back.
There you go. And who else did we pick up that stands out? Let's see, Jack Coletto. This guy is the jack of all trades. Fullback, linebacker, wildcat quarterback, 6'3", 240 pounds from Oregon State. What do you guys think about this guy? I'm sure this guy is pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's got a cannon. He's probably got a better deep ball than Jimmy does.
He's got a slow release, but he's got a stronger arm than Jimmy. It's a bit of a slow release. He connected on some big pass. I saw that. He ran some good runs out of the Wildcat. Good. We don't have to run Trey Lance with those stupid power runs anymore. We can just throw him in there.
Throw him in there and do it. Yeah. Let him get hit.
I think he's more likely to be an offensive player than a linebacker in the NFL. I like his versatility on offense.
I like it. I was really kind of hoping they went after Hunter Lepke from
North Dakota State University. Yeah.
But I mean, I can't be mad at this one. He looks pretty solid. He's kind of tall to me. Yeah. Like for a fullback. But
he is, but he's got some weight. He's about 240. So
yeah. No, I'm not hating it.
He could almost slide over to tight end. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they could try to work him in as a tight end with his versatility.
Like maybe just use him as like an H-back or something.
Were you familiar with him at all, Twin Empire? Did you look him up after we got him, or?
Nah, man. It's
Okay.
like I said, once it went down past, the undrafted, it'd be like, good Lord.
Okay, we're gonna be done pretty soon. Then let me just say what's up to Tommy
Nah, you
Huxley.
Gucci though. You good?
Oh yeah. We don't have to be here forever.
Y'all teaching me. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
So,
hey,
like,
we're here to entertain and inform and do it all and have fun. Ryan, I never knew you'd like to get, what's going on here in this conversation, guys? I don't know. I was trying to say something good about you, Tommy, but he's a diehard Niner fan, diehard Warrior fan. Doug, this is a pick that I really like. I'll tell you about this one. You probably know about this guy since you live in the state of Texas. I didn't know about him until we signed him, was Deshaun Jameson. 5'9", undersized cornerback, 185, an elite returner, explosive, electric as a returner. And not a bad cornerback, pretty good cornerback. He just lacks size. Now I heard he did give up some big plays, but were you familiar with him at all, Pete? Pete, did you check him out, Deshaun Jameson?
Yeah, just like you just said. I mean, that was the perfect scouting report. Great as a returner, but you can't put him out there in coverage because he's just going to get dunked on.
You got to get dunked on.
So I mean, that's what's going to happen if you try to say he's only 5. He's listed at 5'9". Which probably means he's 5'8",
hey,
5'8" or 5'7".
Right.
So
5'9" in cleats.
Yeah, exactly. So
with a helmet on.
But I mean, fast and I was surprised that he didn't have a faster 40 time, but because he looks
really fast. On the video.
Probably real quick. And
I love game speed. I'll take game speed any day over what that 40 says.
For sure. Because Debo didn't. What did he test at a 4?
He was a 4.4. He was like a 4.48, something like that.
Yeah, 4.48. But he steady runs away from every single body. You're not catching him once he gets in the open
even when
field.
he got chunkier, he still got away from.
But he getting a little thick now, though.
Yeah, he's still running away from people.
Hey, he look like he's running towards that dinner table now, boy.
Yeah, hey.
They said that
he's been working out all off season this year, so I think that he's going to come in a little bit more trim. I don't think he was happy with his season last year, so
yeah, he was. I don't know if he was hitting up the buffet line, and they got some good food in the South. Maybe he was there on going back to South Carolina, eating some good food out there on his vacations or whatever. Let me just go through the rundown of other guys that we signed.
He was pulling up to Chick-fil-A on Sundays.
A lot of butter. That's a lot of butter.
The name from name alone, when I was doing the mock drafts, I was saying earlier that this is a draft that had the hardest names to pronounce, more so than any other draft. But this name caught my eye because I was like familiar with it right off the bat. Whenever I was doing mock drafts, I would laugh every time I ran across his name was Jadakiss Bonds. I'd always think about the rapper Jadakiss. Yeah. Remember what school he played for? I watched him. Wasn't really too wild by him. He looks like, a guy that could be as a special teamer, backup wide receiver, but I'm not sure if you were familiar with this guy, Jadakiss Bonds, Pete.
Yeah.
When we signed
it wasn't he the one that said that he wasn't picked up by the 49ers?
Oh, did he tweet that out?
Yeah, he tweeted it out.
Yeah, somebody did.
You know what? I'm on 49ers.com and I don't see his name on there now.
Yeah,
I see other UDFA.
Tweeted out and said it was fake.
Really? They picked up somebody else today. I never knew who he was even. So
they got Shea Wyatt.
Yeah. Shea Wyatt's the one I'm familiar with from Tulane. Yeah. And they picked up another guy too, actually. Let me just pull his name up for you guys really, really quick. So this guy's Isaiah Winstead from some school that says the Pirates.
Yeah, 6'4".
Yeah.
6'4", like 207, something like that.
Is that, and again, I love wide receivers as kind of a sexy position, but it's not necessarily the type of players in the undrafted free agency that pan out. Kerry Portman's like the only one I could think of that ever did anything as a UDFA for wide receiver. But last year people were like, "Oh wow, we signed this guy. Oh wow, we signed that guy. He's a UDFA. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be good." And they, they're not gonna pan out. I'm sorry, the NFL is just that league.
We all were happy about what was his name, Austin something.
We were happy about some dude. I do remember.
Was it Austin Jackson?
We forget them because they don't do shit though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and then he didn't make the team. It happens all the time. But you hear it all over Twitter, and all these teams, all these fans of these teams think that all their draft picks are going to be great. Mm-hmm. And watch out for us next season because we got this guy and that guy and this guy. And then the 49ers still end up in the NFC Championship game.
Hopefully we end up in the Super
With
Bowl
the
this
worst
time
draft.
and win the Super Bowl with the draft that everybody shitted on.
Yeah.
What up, 49er Throwback? I see you, bro. Hey, appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. You know, we're having a great time on here. We already hit that hour and 30-minute mark. We're at 1:34 actually. So we're gonna call it a night. But appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate you, Twin. First time having you on. First time having Pete on. If you guys have not subscribed to Twin Empire's YouTube channel, check him out. It's in the description of his YouTube channels in the description box. Just click the link and you're good to go. And Pete Lucas is from Niner Fanatic Podcast. You can check him out on Twitter and on YouTube. And they got their Twitter handles right there by their names. If you guys have anything to say before we go, or anything you guys are working on your channels in the next week or so, or this week, just let us know what's going on, man.
You want to go first, Twin?
For sure. Again, follow me on YouTube, Twin Empire. Make sure y'all sub to the channel. Hopefully, I'll be bringing you guys some not only 49er news, but also me and my brother were just cooking up, talking about doing some reaction videos to that. He texted me about to the Lakers too as well. Unfortunately, he's a Laker fan. But anyway, so yeah, man.
Shout out Law.
Yeah. So she'll be getting some of that banter going pretty soon. And yeah, man, after the draft now, it's time to kind of get locked in, and we start seeing some pictures of the guys out there on the court. I mean, not on the court, but on the field as well for 49ers. So I'm finna get back in that groove, man. So make sure y'all check out not only me, but my guy Pete, and also
Char.
Thank you.
It's phonetic, man. The way I spell Bashar. There you go. It's all good, man. It's all good. Hey, I've been dealing with it all my life. I'm used to it. Anything you got to let them know, Pete, about? So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like once again, name is right there, and Nine Fanatic Podcast. I'm on YouTube. You can watch me on Twitter. You can watch me on Facebook. You can, if you don't want to look at my face, you can listen to the audio version on anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. I don't care where you get it, just get it. And just make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend so we can be friends every day and every week. Appreciate you for having me on, for sure.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Love having you guys on, man. You guys are awesome. It's been a lot of fun. I should do this a lot more often. Just have us three as a panel. It's really, really fun in my opinion. It's one of the funner shows I've done in a long time. I always have fun when I'm on here, though. It's always got to laugh. And we drop food references, hip hop references, basketball references, wrestling references. Really, really quick before we go, I want to ask you guys this: did any of you guys see the Super Mario Brothers movie yet?
Yes.
Oh, what do you guys think? Oh, cool. You guys both saw it. Let us hear it.
I got kids, so
yeah.
Did it take you guys back? Did you guys enjoy it? You have fun?
For sure.
Oh, it was good. I don't normally like the kid movies, but yeah, it was. It kept me interested the whole movie. So
yeah, I definitely like I like how they updated the tunnels. Like we saw tunnels growing up, but they added a different, in my opinion, a different perspective of tunnels. And so I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed the characters. I love Bowser. To me, I think he was great. I'm not even a Jack Black fan, to be honest with you guys.
I can't stand Jack Black.
I'm not, but he played that part. He did a wonderful job. I love the comic relief in the story. I love the animation too, in general. I love the powers. I thought they did a really good job, and they made Princess quite swaggy. Like they gave her. They
did a good job with her. I like that.
What I mean? So yeah, man, just salute to everything, and yeah, man, great. Hey, it was a good movie.
I'm not a big fan of animated movies. I'll watch it with my niece and nephew from time to time, but to me, this is one of the better animated movies I've seen in a long time. And I saw it on 40X. So when I saw it's like a roller coaster ride. Your seat's moving in a million directions, and they're shooting at when a rocket shoots out on the screen, you'll feel a huge blast of air just shooting right by you, and craziness. It's if you ever have a 40X theater anywhere near you, I highly suggest seeing any action movie or any upcoming movie in that type of theater. It's an amazing experience.
You're trying to give people heart attacks.
I'm a big dude, man. That seat, and I felt like I was going to jump out of my seat at one point. How much that seat moves you, man. It was crazy, man. It was a whole lot of fun, though.
They did the characters really well, though. Like I thought everybody, the way they represented. Represented everybody got represented.
Me, Mario.
Yo, it took me back to the kid. Well, I'm telling you.
Hey, it took me back, man. Definitely. And I was a fan of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show cartoon with that wrestling manager, Captain Lou Albano, playing Mario. But to me, the movie was like the cartoon on steroids. It was just way better. It was so much better. Well, Dave McNider, it says, great stream, fellas. Go 49ers and F the Lambs.
All day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah. So, hey, we're going to wrap this up. Again, you guys have been awesome. Thank you, Twin Empire, Twin. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody, for watching 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. So keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded. Peace. Let's go. Go Niners.
Bang, bang,
Niners.
Bang, bang.
Come on, 49ers. Baby. Let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We got to do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We got to get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah. Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.